We're diving into Microsoft Recall, this whole new feature they're pushing. It's supposed to be revolutionary, changing how we use our PCs and all that. But a lot of us, especially in IT, are feeling a little, I don't know, wary. Privacy, security, that whole can of worms.
Yeah, it's a fascinating concept, really. Microsoft's trying to essentially bridge that gap we all experience, between what we remember and what our computers remember. Imagine a searchable history of everything you've done on your screen. That's what they're going for with Recall.
Okay, so walk me through this a bit.
Yeah.
How does it actually work on a technical level? What's the tech behind it?
Okay, so picture this. You're working on your computer, right? Browsing, typing, whatever. Recall is running in the background, taking these snapshots of your screen at regular intervals. But it's not just like screenshots. It's using AI to analyze those snapshots, identify the content, and index it.
So basically, it's like having a photographic memory for your computer use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's powerful, but man, that sets off some alarm bells for me, privacy-wise.
Yeah, and that's the big trade-off, right? Convenience versus privacy. Microsoft's banking on the functionality of this thing being a total game changer. Imagine being able to search for a document you were working on weeks ago, but you don't remember the name, just like a few keywords from the text, or even just that graph with the blue line.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Can you give me a real-world scenario where this would actually be useful?
Sure. Say you're trying to remember a website, an online store maybe you were on a while back. Can't remember the name for the life of you, but you remember it had like a pale pink background and they had a sale on boots.
So with Recall, I could just search shopping site with pink background or even just boots, and it would pull up, like a timeline of all the snapshots where those things appeared on my screen?
Bingo, exactly. And that's just scratching the surface. Imagine searching for code snippets you were reviewing, presentations you were working on, that funny meme you saw on social media. The possibilities, they're pretty vast.
Okay, yeah, I can see the appeal. But let's address the elephant in the room here. Security. This all sounds fantastic until you start thinking about data breaches, privacy violations. We're talking about a gold mine of sensitive information here, right?
Absolutely. And that's where things get, well, a little more complicated. Microsoft doesn't exactly have a spotless record when it comes to data security. And a lot of folks in the IT world, they've got some serious concerns about Recall.
So how are they addressing those concerns? Have they said anything about how they're going to make this thing secure?
They have, yeah. Microsoft's been pretty upfront about saying that Recall's designed with privacy in mind, security too. They keep emphasizing that it's opt-in, meaning it's not like it's just automatically on, spying on everything you do. Users have to actively choose to enable Recall.
Okay, that's something, I guess. But what about the data itself? Once it's captured, how's it actually secured?
Yeah.
Especially with their track record.
Right. So here's the thing. Microsoft's highlighted a few key security features. First off, the data is stored locally.
Locally?
Yeah, on your PC, not on some cloud server somewhere. So less risk of some massive data breach, they argue. On top of that, it's encrypted, and you need Windows Hello to access it.
Windows Hello. That's their whole biometric thing, right? Fingerprints, facial recognition, all that.
Exactly. Adds an extra layer, so even if someone gets their hands on your device, they can't just dive into your Recall data.
Okay, so local storage, encryption, Windows Hello. Those are all good things, but are those enough to guarantee, actual security?
That's the million-dollar question. And early on, there was a security researcher, Kevin Beaumont. He actually found a pretty big vulnerability.
Oh.
Yeah. He discovered that Recall was writing data to a plain text file on the hard drive, which, obviously, he could access and search without breaking a sweat.
Wait, plain text?
Yeah.
Seriously. With all this talk about encryption and security, they missed that.
Yeah, it raised some eyebrows for sure. To his credit, Beaumont, he reported it to Microsoft responsibly, gave them time to patch it up before going public. But still, it makes you wonder,
Absolutely. How many other vulnerabilities are lurking under the surface?
It's a good reminder, though. New technology, there are always going to be unforeseen security risks. And while Microsoft is trying, it's important to remember no system is perfect. Nobody's got a perfect track record.
For sure. So where does that leave users? What can they actually do to control Recall, protect their data? Can they set limits or even just shut the whole thing off if they're not comfortable? It's always good to have options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what can users actually do to manage this thing, keep their data, under wraps?
Well, Microsoft gives you a few ways to control it. First off, you can delete your snapshot history.
The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole shebang. Or you can just delete, like, chunks of it, set a time frame, delete anything older than that.
Okay, so you can purge your history if you need to. What about something a little more, I don't know, precise? Can you pick and choose what recall actually tracks, like certain websites or apps?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can blacklist stuff, tell it, hey, don't track anything on my banking site, or leave my password manager out of this.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want your Amazon shopping sprees popping up in a search, right? But let's say someone's just not comfortable with this at all. Can you just, like, nuke it from orbit? Is there an off switch?
Yeah, you got it. Straight up disable the whole thing in Windows settings. It's under privacy and security, then recall and snapshots. Just toggle it off, done deal.
So there is an off switch.
Yeah.
At least Microsoft's giving people some options, some control over their comfort levels.
Yeah, it's all about finding that balance, between what the tech can do and keeping things secure. And honestly, a lot of it boils down to just being aware.
Aware.
Yeah, users, IT professionals, everyone, understanding how this thing works, the risks, knowing how to adjust those settings, that's key.
Knowledge is power, as they say. And in the tech world, that's never been truer. Well, this has been, I'd say, both fascinating and a little unnerving, this deep dive into Microsoft Recall.
Yeah, it's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. For everyone listening, stay tuned. We'll be back with more deep dives, exploring all the latest tech and how it's changing how we live and work online. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there.